Hi friends and readers, and thanks for joining me here today. I've got some things to chat with you about today, and I hope you'll find them interesting. So grab a cuppa, settle in, and let's get started. So, you know that I love words. Mainly I love writing words together that make sense at the end of a sentence, a paragraph, a chapter, a book. I wander around the books I write, adding a chapter here, adding or filling out a description, asking questions of my characters, listening to what they're not saying, and hoping I can translate that onto the page. Figuring out the beginning, always with the end in mind, and then I pray I can hold the middle together. One of the most amazing things I learned when I was a kid was that there are only 26 letters in the English alphabet. Growing up, as I read Jane Austen, Charles Dickens, Charlotte Bronte, Mark Twain, an anthology of Greek myths and The Merchant of Venice, Hamlet, and Our Town, poems like The Cremation of Sam McGee, The Charge of the Light Brigade, The Albatross, The Prisoner of Chillon. As an adult, my love of words continued with May Sarton, Henri Nouwen, P.D. James, Val McDermid, Martha Grimes, Elizabeth George, Ruth Rendell, and writers today, Diana Gabaldon, Denise Mina, Rachel McLean, J.D. Kirk, Patient Griffin, S.J. Rosen, Hannah Ellis, with Seamus Heaney and Mary Oliver as favorite poets. I was absolutely gobsmacked the first time I read Mary Oliver's Summer Day. Her last line just spun me around. Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? We could have a chat about that one sentence, couldn't we? That books and poems have been written using only 26 letters still staggers my mind. Words are so wonderfully descriptive and breathtaking. I love piecing them together for dialogues, descriptions, yearning. For full transparency, I've wondered if I would ever say this phrase out loud. Anyway, so for full transparency, I want to say that I'm currently working on 2 books. One, as you know, editing book 8 of the Walkerville series, and 2, a new women's novel. So this following that I'm talking about is from my women's novel. A few nights ago, I was writing about my heroine deciding she wanted to get to know the hero a little bit better. This is what she said. He was an open book that she anticipated reading. I hope this sentence conveys to you what it did to me. AC sometimes does handyman chores around the house. He does the best work when he's got the right tools. That's the way it is with writing. The right words for the right job. Correct, precise, accurate, exact. Which brings me to the advertised topic for today, word nerds. Do you see that little Dr. Seuss nerd guy? I do not consider myself a nerd or a geek in any way, shape, or form. I admire them, and I just learned the difference between a geek and a nerd. So forgive me, those of you who already know the difference. Geeks can be introverted or extroverted and really know their topic. In fact, they can often bore someone to death with repetitive information about their interests. They can be judged as pretentious even though their knowledge is admired. They do an awful lot of talk. I don't know if there's any topic that I can talk about forever. I may be superficial or shallow in that I know some stuff about a lot of topics, but not a lot of stuff about a few topics. Nerds, on the other hand, tend to be introverts. And while not necessarily lacking in social skills, they prefer to spend time doing rather than just talking. So, if this definition is correct, precise, accurate, exact about geeks and nerds, then I should probably step into the nerd category when it comes to writing. As I announced last week and said earlier, AC and I are in the process of editing Book 8 of the Walkerville series. Now, AC is a wordsmith, a skilled user of words. Those of you who know him know his articulateness. When we're working and there's a description where we're stuck, he can suggest the precise word while I am more apt to feel a word and hope that my sentence or paragraph flows. Sometimes I get completely stuck on finding the right word. I use my thesaurus, I use several dictionaries. I will write the sentence using different words to see, feel, hear which one fits what I want to say. This process really happens when I'm writing what my characters are saying because I hear them. Each has their own language, their own rhythm, their own pace. Where I get stuck is about descriptions. I was working on my women's novel the other night and I was trying to describe an old upright piano. I got on the internet, looked at pictures, read descriptions, ivory keys, what it looks like, the bells and whistles of an upright piano. And I finally had to just close my eyes to see the piano in my hero's office. And when I got in touch with, this was his father's upright. What I did was I wrote about the feelings and memories my hero had about the piano with very little description. And both my hero and I were satisfied. Right? You've heard me talk about my writing process in earlier chats. And you know my characters let me follow them around when they have conversations with each other. Most of the time, these conversations are my favorite parts of the book. They come easily because I'm just listening and transcribing. I use their language, their descriptions, their pauses. Sometimes a whole book comes to me when I hear just one word and I get a picture in my head. And sometimes I get bogged down trying to describe the weather, hear my surroundings. The swishing of cars on tarmac told her it had rained. So here it is, 2:26 a.m. Monday night or early Tuesday morning. And I'm writing these notes and listening to a Snow Patrol compilation. I have just about exhausted my word nerd information. And I never knew I was a nerd. So, is this another label? Is this a reasonable label for a writer to wear? Let me know what you think. There are links in the description down below to show you how to drop me a note. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So that's what I've got on my mind today. I loved exploring this topic, and thank you for sharing your time with me today. I'd love to get together with you again next Wednesday. And remember the housekeeping stuff, right? If you know someone you think would like to join us, please pass on my YouTube links. I always appreciate the chance to share my thoughts with new folks. And of course, new readers are always welcome as well. Far better than any advertising is a personal recommendation. So please do let your friends know about my work if you think they might enjoy it. There is a wealth of excellent information in the description just below me here. To start, remember that YouTube counts everything, so it means a lot if you give us a thumbs up, and it's really helpful if you subscribe to my channel by linking that big red button. If you have questions or comments, look for links to my Facebook and Instagram and my email address. You'll also find the address on my Amazon page where all the Walkerville books are available to purchase in both Kindle and print editions. And the direct link for next Wednesday's live chat is there too. So again, thanks for joining me today, and hope to see you next week. Have a great rest of the day. Thank you.